Okay, good morning to all. Welcome back. This is again last class we discussed about the firewall, and these are the types of firewall. One is your packet filtering firewall, and is the application level gateways or proxy firewall. Basically, the firewall acts as a watchman in the apartment buildings, right? So when data is enter or when a person enter into the that building, the watchman first uh, inquiries about all the data for the reason for the coming to that building, then it will be allowed to. Similarly, in the firewall in the internet system, it first you try to check the packets and whether the packet is authenticated to move this traffic or not. Then this will be allow that traffic or allow that packet to move from the destination site. So this is the firewall concept. So these are two type of firewall. One is your packet filtering firewall. Second one is your application level gateways. So in the packet filtering firewall is the most basic type of firewall. It acts like a management program that monitors network traffic and filters incoming packets based on configured security rules. And these firewalls are designed to block network traffic, IP protocols and IP address and a port number if a data packet does not match the established rule set. While packet filtering firewalls can be considered a fast solution without many resource requirements, they also have some limitation because these type of firewalls do not prevent web-based attacks. They are not the safest. Next is your packet filtering, means there are also the two type of, one is your stateless packet filtering firewall, another one is your having the state packet firewall. Stateless packet firewall like a watchman, that means the authorities told that nobody allow into that building, that means nobody is allowed enter into that building. But the state packet filtering means the watchman had decided that whether that person is allowed to that building or that means that person used its own sense to check the person and then allowed to enter into the building. But stateless means nobody can motivating that people to allow into the building area, right now. So that is the packet filtering firewalls. Similarly, application level gateways, proxy, or you can say the proxy firewall. Proxy firewalls operate at the application layer as an intermediate device to filter incoming traffic between two end systems. And this is why these firewalls are called the application level gateways. Unlike basic firewalls, this proxy firewall transfer request from client to the original clients to the web server, and this protects the client's identity and other suspicious information, keeping the network safe from the potential attacks. Once the connection is established, the proxy firewall inspects data packets coming from the source. If the contents of the incoming data packet are protected, the proxy firewall transfer it to the client. This approach creates an additional layer of security between the client and many different sources on the network. That is known as the application level gateways. Next is your IP security. What is IP security? Is an Internet Engineering Task Force or IETF standard suite of protocols between two communication points across the IP network that provide data authentication, integrity, and the confidentiality. It also defines the encrypted, decrypted, and authenticated packets, the protocols needed for secure key exchange, and key management are defined in it. So this is the IP security. It is an Internet Engineering Task Force is a part of that suite of protocol between two communication point across the IP network that provide data authentication. Next, the uses of IP security. IP security can be used to do the following things: to encrypt application layer data, to provide security for routers sending routing data across the public internet, to provide authentication without encryption, like to authenticate that the data originates from a known sender. The protect network data by setting up circuits using IP security tunneling, in which all data is being sent between the two endpoints is encrypted as with a virtual private network connection. So these are the using of the IP security. Then what are the components of IP security? It has the following components: encapsulating security payload ESP and authentication header AH. Encapsulating security payload or ESP, it provides data integrity, encryption, authentication and anti-reply. It also provides authentication for payload. And authentication header, it also provides data integrity, authentication and anti-reply, and it does not provide encryption. The anti-reply protection protects against unauthorized transmission of packets. It does not protect data's confidentiality. So they are the main components of IP security. First, encapsulate security payload. It provides data integrity, encryption, authentication process. It maintains the integrity, encryption methods, authenticated, anti-reply. Also provide authentication for payload. And authentication header means it provides this one, and this authentication header it is the provide data integrity, also authentication, anti-reply, and it does not provide encryption process right now. Then the anti-reply protection protects against unauthorized transmission. So what is anti-reply? Anti-reply means suppose anybody can unauthorizedly transmit the packet, then it will be reply that unauthorized access or unauthorized transmission of the data packets. It does not protect data's confidentiality, but it does not protect the data's confidentiality right now. Next is your working of the IP security. Working of the how the IP security is basically working. Now the host, first thing is the host with the sender checks if the packet should be transmitted using IP security or not. If this packet traffic triggers the security policies for themselves, this is done when the system sending the packet apply an appropriate encryption. The incoming packets are also checked by the host that are encrypted properly or not. Next is the IK phase 1, or that means your internet key exchange process is there. Starts in which the two hosts using IP security authenticate themselves to each other to start a secure channel, and it has two modes again. The main mode, which provides the greater security, and the aggressive mode, which enables the host to establish the IP security more quickly. So there is the two mode. One is your main mode, another one is your aggressive mode. Second, the next is the channel created. The channel created in the last step is then used to securely negotiate the way the IP circuit will encrypt the data across the IP circuit. Now the IK phase 2, or internet key exchange phase 2, is conducted over the secure channel in which the two hosts negotiate the type of cryptographic algorithm to use on the session and agreeing on secret keying material to be used. And then the data is exchanged across the newly created IP security encrypted tunnel, and these packets are encrypted and decrypted by the host using IP security section. When the communication between the host is completed or the session times out, then the IP security tunnel is terminated by discarding the keys by both the host. So these are the components of the IP security. And next, this is the architecture of IP security architecture, so which we'll discuss in the next class. Thank you for